Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you have a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. In today's video, this is part of stream where I was just discussing one of the new tier lists I've been working on. That is talking about the pay-to-win relics, or the relics you buy from the celebration bundles for all the different champions, trying to rank them, and I'm just trying to work through the tier list on how I want to format it and lay out all the different relics. So I had a kind of layout and ranking already set, but I wanted to discuss them with chat, further think through my ideas, and just see if I want to adjust anything before I make a finished tier list video on it. So I hope you enjoy this. Do note though that it's not going to be super edited down, and this isn't at all the final rankings, but I thought you might want a sneak peek into what I'm working on at the moment and where things might shake up. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. All right, so we have our tier list. So we don't need the F tier. We have all of the paid relics over here. And what I'm generally thinking here for these different kind of tiers is we're mostly just considering how versatile these builds are, not necessarily how powerful they're going to be. So for S tier, it's going to be relics that are pretty much the best in slot for a whole bunch of champions. They're super versatile. A lot of people can use them. Some quick examples would be like Starforged or the Victor relic. A tier, I'm thinking that would be like a good relic, versatile in a lot of people. For some of them, it's going to be ones where there's other options, there's other relics that kind of fulfill the same purpose, and so they're not quite as important. Like, I would put the Warwick relic in here because it's another way you can get overwhelmed, so that alone can be very good if you don't have like Beast Within. But if you have Beast Within, you don't really need the Warwick relic. B is going to be relics that are like best in slot for probably just like two champions. So an example would be like the Fiddlesticks relic, incredibly good for both Fiddlesticks and Caitlyn, but that's pretty much it. C tier is going to be like best in slot for a single champion. So an example of that one would be like the Caitlyn relic, where super good on her, best in slot, but that's it. And then D tier is for the ones where even on the specific champion that can use it, it's normally not even one of their best in slot. It's normally not one of the ones you're really wanting to, like, it works on the champion, but it's not like great. Some examples would be like the Ambessa relic, or also like the Ari one. That's what I'm kind of thinking for the tiers at the moment. Hello, Carthians. What adventure do the 5-star adventure quest? I pretty much always go for Viego. I think it's generally the easiest 5-star adventure. Is this when you buy this, you use it on lots of champs? Yeah, we're trying to generally do the tier list focusing on how good the relic will be and how versatile it will be on a lot of champions. I always do Lysandra, even though she's annoying sometimes. All right, so we'll start slowly going through and ranking these, and I'll see if you guys can kind of change my opinion on any of these at all. I kind of did rankings super fast for a lot of these, and yeah, we might move them around. So for one, I had Starforged Gauntlets, which right here, we just put that in S tier. I think that's going to be one that no one's really going to disagree with. Like, it's very, very solid. It's versatile on a bunch of people. It's one that can be versatile on more people later. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really going to disagree with Starforged Gauntlets being in the S tier. So let's just get the S tier kind of out of the way. I think the Victor relic is another one that is super versatile on a lot of people, very strong. It's actually probably the most versatile relic in the game as far as the paid ones. Starforged Gauntlet should be buyable like scissors right now. Yeah, I actually need to check. Did they add in the celebration bundles? I know they said they were going to, but I don't remember seeing them in the shop anywhere. Although I think I bought all of them, so I probably wouldn't see them because they'd be purchasable. Can you guys see them at all? Any of the celebration ones? Yeah, because I haven't noticed them. All right, and then the last one I would say that is probably S tier, I would say would be Swain. I do think it is not as versatile as the other two, but I think there's still plenty of champions that do like to use this. It does require either using Scourge's Stash or Packed Powder, but I would think that this is probably still deserving of the S tier. I think there's a lot of champions that do like it. Because yeah, it's the best just flat out for Swain, but then there's a lot of other champions that this enables turn 1 build, which is flat out the best option. Like another one is Heimerdinger. Him, it's such a massive power spike getting him on the board turn 1. So I think this is another one that I would say is like S tier. You can buy the relics from all champs in their OG price, like Swain and Viego's being a bit more expensive. All right, so then we have A tier. And like, yeah, if anyone has a good argument for why some of these shouldn't be in their position, definitely list it. This is before I finalize the rankings and like do the video for them, I wanted to be able to talk through and see if anyone changes my mind on any of these. So for A tier, these are relics where they're usable on a lot of people, but for a lot of them, they're not normally what I would consider like best in slot. I think this next one would probably be maybe the one that's more divisive than a lot of these other ones. Where do we have it here? Am I blind? Why can I not see it? So I'm looking for the Vi one. Okay, potentially when my wife was cutting these out, I know we checked all of them before, so I think that one was just, yeah, slightly, might have forgot to put it here. Because, yeah, I know we went over that one. All right, so with the Invisible Vi one, I think that one I would put in the A tier. I think it is good on a lot of people. Like, I know we have it cut out. We just probably forgot to put it on the slide. Let's see. Add a comment. Boop. Okay, so that box is Vi. That's the one that if you have over 10 power and you attack, you start a free attack challenging the strongest enemy, and it gives you impact. For me, I think it is fine. I think it is a good relic on a lot of people. A lot of people can utilize it. Like, you can utilize it on Vi, you can utilize it on Elder Dragon, Volibear. Normally on most of the champions I'd use it on, though, I would generally use a different relic for. Like, I think it's good, but I don't know if I quite think that it's like S tier. Because I think for most champions you use it on, it's not even their best in slot. I think for most of them, I'd rather use like Disciple of Shadows, Starforge Gauntlets, the Overwhelm Relic, Beast Within, Portal Pals. Ability get enables bigger units, so I'd say A or B. Yeah, like I have it in A. I think it's very solid, very good. I don't quite think it's S tier. And remember, just in case anyone missed it, the tiers aren't necessarily the power of the relic. It's more the versatility of the relic. So like S tier is relics that are like the best in slot for a bunch of champions. A tier is relics that are still versatile and used on a lot of champions, but they're ones where they are a bit more niche. They're still not either the best in slot, like it's a good alternative, or it's just not as useful on many people. Eve Relic can be A, maybe B. I mean, we'll get to the Eve Relic. But yeah, so far no one's really disagreeing with putting this in A. This is the Vi one. Next, let's go to the Warwick one. For me, I think Warwick is another one that's good in A tier. If you don't have Beast Within, I think it is a great alternative. Of being able to give Overwhelm to all your units is very solid. But if you have Beast Within, I feel like most people are going to choose that over this one. And I don't think this is really best in slot for anyone other than like Warwick or I guess like Tom Kench eventually. Kale, the Targon Angel. I know I use it on Nasus, but can't remember who else. I don't know if you mean the Warwick one. Because yeah, like Warwick, good on him, good on Tom Kench, and then I feel like for pretty much everyone else, it's just a good alternative for Beast Within if you don't have Beast Within. I was talking about Vi one? Okay. Yeah, for Vi, it's like, it can be a fun relic to use on Volibear. Normally, I think he has better ones. It can be fun to use on Elder Dragon. Again, I think he normally can have some that are better. And it's, yeah, it's good for, like, Vi. For Warwick, I like it on Leona since she gives all her units tough. Yeah, that is actually pretty solid. For her, it would probably be, yeah, a bit better. Although it's still, like, a play effect, which can be a little rough. Alright, let's then move on to the Jace Relic. This is another one that I'd want to put in the A tier. So the Jace Relic, it gives you 1-2 as far as stats. That alone can be really good. It can enable several champions to use Starforged Gauntlets, so that's nice. And then it also gives you that mana refill. So this is one where, like for the A tier, it's supposed to be good on multiple champions, pretty versatile, but not necessarily best in slot for many champions. Hello, Rio Rivero. I think I got that pretty well. Really don't like the Jace Relic. I think it is really good on him. It's really good on Vi. And then I think it can enable different playstyles. I would say B at most. Haven't really used it since I got it. Yep, you got it pretty well. Nice. Jace Relic good on Vi. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Alawi. It's very good for Alawi. Alawi, you use it with her to trigger Starforged Gauntlets. Yeah, it's for the Jace Relic. It's like, I feel like it's fairly versatile, so it could be A tier, but does it work on Eve, Gnar, and Nidalee? To be honest, I don't know. When I level up, refill 3 mana. Honestly, I need to try that. Yeah, I feel like I need to actually test out the Jace Relic on multiple other people. Let's... So yeah, Jace relic, 1/2 when I level up, refill 3 mana. If I'm Jace, refill 6 mana instead. Trying to use that on like a Gnar could actually be good. I guess the problem for Gnar is that it won't work because for him, he levels at the end of the round. So for Gnar, it won't work because it's the same reason why like Crown Guard doesn't work. You don't level throughout the match. So it can't work for Gnar. It technically could maybe work for Nidalee, but you'd have to be sacrificing other relics to make it work. It's like Evelyn, you could use it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this might be one I have to look out later. Hey, Torcat. If it works, then I'd keep it A. If not, thinking B would be better. I guess a little better since stats. Yeah, the stats is one thing that is helping it, because one thing I'm trying to think for these relics is not only ones that are useful now, but ones that are going to be useful or likely to be useful on champions in the future. So Starforge Gauntlets, still going to continue to be useful for new champions. Same with the Victor relic, like we've seen even since Victor's come out, this relic has been super useful on most champions. And then same with the Swain one. Anyone that's a 4 or 5 cost champion might want to use this as well. My cousin had a crazy idea that when you complete a constellation, you get a special slot for only your champion relic. That'd be nice. The Ari relic is probably going to go in D. Yeah, I'd say the Jace one, I think I might move that to B for now. And again, the B tier, like S tier, best choice on multiple champions. A is, it's a good choice on a lot of champions. It's flexible, but normally there is like alternatives, or there's other ones that, yeah, it's just not part of their like best build. B tier is best on like 2 champions, or good / best on 2 champions. So for that, I think this works as far as best on Alawi and best on Jace. It has the possibility of being better on champions in the future, especially because its stats can enable Starforged, but I think potentially having it in B for now could be okay, OP, or goodness, could be fine. All right, let's move on then and talk about the Nora relic. Goodness, which down here, Nora relic, surprisingly, I kind of think it actually goes in the A tier because it is really good for Fiddlesticks, but then it's also very solid and has the potential to be solid on anyone that needs keywords. So it's also really good, or like best in slot, or can be best in slot for like Poro King. It's, I think it has other champions it's good on as well. So like it's good on them. The reason it's not S tier is because for this relic there are alternatives. Other champions, there are other keyword giving effects, such as like Strength of Stone, that can potentially be an alternative when you just need another keyword. But I think it actually is one that is pretty versatile. You can potentially use it on champions. It can be good for future champion releases when they just need to hit X amount of keywords. So I think it's, yeah, it's why I'm putting it in the A tier. Yeah, while adding an epic relic would be nice, they're definitely not going to want to do something like that. They've kind of said that in multiple interviews at this point, that 3 slots is already kind of really hard to balance, and then adding 4 would just completely destroy any semblance of balance they had. Yeah, thinking of putting Nora in the A tier. I think that's pretty solid. So yeah, I'm thinking Fiddlesticks, it's his best. And then for Poro King, I think it's normally one of the ones you want to use. Like, we have Black Shield as well. I think the Nora one is solid. Going for Strength of Stone isn't bad. Although, again, like, for him, there are alternatives. Is there someone else that really likes the Nora relic? I thought there is, but I'm struggling to think of it. Because I think for Kaisa, there's other alternatives. I mean, technically, it could be okay for Lux Illuminated. Kind of, well, you don't make that many created champions. Yeah, I was saying other than Fiddle. I kind of thought there was one other one. I guess Nora, right? Oh my word. So it's like, yeah, Nora, Fiddlesticks, and Poro King are all ones that really like it. And that one might be... That might be it. Would it work on Eve? It should. I don't know if you'd ever want to put it on Eve, just because I think she has other things you'd like better. But, like, yeah, it would work, but you have better options. So pretty much the distinction between A and B tier is, for B tier, this is a relic that only really works on 2 people, where it might be good or their best slot, whereas A is relics that can potentially work on pretty much more than 2. And so that's why I was thinking the Nora relic would go there. It's, yeah, good on Nora, good on Fiddlesticks. Well, like, best on Fiddlesticks, can be best on Nora, can be good / best on Poro King, and then has the possibility of being pretty good on future champions. Let's talk about the Nasus one then. I feel like Nasus... So we're kind of going like down through the tiers generally. I feel like Nasus would work for A tier, but might be down for B tier. Nasus one is solid on a lot of champions. I would say it's really good for Nasus, really good for Elder Dragon. Not Elder Dragon, sorry, Volibear. It has the possibility of being good on others, which might be the thing that can put it in A. I like it on Nora. Does it really work on Nora? Because Nora is more of a summon effect than a play effect. Like, I guess when your board is full, you get it in hand. But I kind of think that it wouldn't be the best there. You have a lot of champs in hand. I suppose that could work, just because, yeah, you do normally have a pretty full board with Nora. So I could see that. Nasus Relic on Ari plus Oath. Nasus, I think, could be B because it's not summon. Yeah, the rare relic, it can be good if you're going to do more summon effects, but I feel like this one is more versatile, and especially can be more versatile in the future just because it's useful on any champion you play. I think a lot of people can probably use it with like an oath or champion focused build, but it's like, is that going to be that good of a build? It'd be kind of hard to say. But yeah, I really like it on Nasus. I really like it on Volibear. I think Nora could actually be good. I think that'll be one to test. Yeah, I was hoping that I could film the tier list today, but I think I'll probably have to wait. Also, something that is cool that Riot said that I could tell you guys is they are working on getting some accounts set up for, I don't know who all, but some of the relatively bigger content creators for the game, where it's an account that kind of has everything unlocked. So potentially the couple champions I don't have left at 6 stars, if they get this working, and if that does work out, which we'll have to see, I will be able to test like using 6-star Nora, which I don't have, with that relic. So that would be, yeah, I think that'll be one that we have to test out. What's your opinion on Riot repealing the champs? I think it makes sense because the champs were pretty much already revealed by the loading screens. It was already revealed because of the adventure. So I feel like for this situation, they kind of needed to, because the adventure already gave it away. It would have been kind of pointless to be like, oh, we have no idea. So I would say it's good to hold off if you're not going to have something in the game like the adventure that's already giving it away. But since the adventure already gave it away, I think it's fine to just be like, yep, this is what's happening. All right, yeah, I think the Nasus one is pretty much both the champions in the B tier, or both the relics in the B tier, are ones that I want to test to see who all I really like using them on and who I think it's actually worth using it on. Because yeah, for Jace, it's great for him, great for Alawi, and that's pretty much it at the moment for ones I 100% know really well on. For the Nasus one, great for Nasus, great for Volibear, and there's a lot of other people where it kind of works, but just because you can make a build work doesn't mean it's actually good. So yeah, we'll see about those two. Then we have the Misfortune one, which I think there's another one that I'd want to put in the A tier, because like it's best on her, it's best on Fiddlesticks, and then I think there's a bunch of people that can make it work and can make it decent, but definitely not like their like best build. Like I'm thinking like Annie can make it work, but there's normally better, more consistent options. Same with like Jhin. Yeah, that's why I kind of, it didn't quite hit the threshold to go into S for me. It is really good in this event, definitely, yeah. Blaha Jablaster. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, so I'm kind of thinking the Misfortune one. It's in A, it's good, it's versatile. It's not quite good enough to go in the S tier, in my opinion. Because again, we're not really ranking the flat out power of the relics, because like on Misfortune, it's absolutely insane. God, this event had made me play some levels of jank unimaginable. Yeah, same. All right, I think that's it for the A tier, unless we end up bumping something else up. So let's try to finish out the B tier then. So I think the Fiddlesticks relic is kind of what I think is for the B tier, where it's a relic that's like pretty much best in slot or really good option for 2 champions. Where this is fantastic on Fiddlesticks, fantastic on Caitlyn, and then pretty much garbage on everyone else. And so that's kind of mostly what the B tier is. Best option for like 2 people, and that's pretty much it. Because again, the tier list is more just about how versatile or how good it is on multiple people. Teemo, I mean, I don't think it's really great for Teemo at the moment. Like right now, Teemo, you just get crushed. If you don't end super fast, you get crushed in the early rounds. I think it has the potential to be good on Teemo if Teemo gets buffed up. But right now for Teemo, most builds I'd go for him have to be a little bit more focused on your early game and get as much power down in the opening rounds. Whereas this, it's more of a mid/late game effect. And normally at that point by Teemo, the game's kind of decided. I beat Twisted Fate with Teemo triple Cosmic Blessing. Nice. I also saw Captain Sarah did that as well. Yeah, I beat Teemo. Technically, it was a Neela run, but Teemo showed up and absolutely destroyed. It was pretty fun. I think Kate Fiddle Relic could work on Teemo in future post-Constellation. I think that's possible. I think right now it doesn't really work, but I think, yeah, that it's possible that that would work. Kate's Relic is weird for Teemo because the reloop of traps is if the trap misses, but shrooms can never miss. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go for the Lux Relics now. So for Lux Illuminated, I think generally it's going to be B tier. It's great on both the Lux and not really useful on anyone else. Like, I think there was some kind of random builds here and there you could use with it, but in general, it wasn't really great. But yeah, for both the Lux, it's great. +1 starting mana. You don't have to sacrifice another relic slot. Good, but I think that's pretty much it. I'm saying Lux Relics is not deluxe. I mean, it's deluxe for both the Lux, and that's about it. And then I think it's kind of the same with the other Lux Relic. I think it works well on Lux Original, and it works really well on Nasus. And I think everyone else we tried it on, it was mostly garbage, unfortunately. Yeah, like everyone else we tried it on, it was pretty terrible. Like, it was marginally okay for Gnar, but still not really better than a lot of his other options. Why is the red square? Because this was just like a extra one we had to throw in. This is placeholder for the Vi Relic. We have it cut out somewhere. We just didn't have it on here. Quick question, is it worth to invest in the gemstone upgrades? If you have the gemstones, then yes, it can be. Like, I try to get the ones that are buffing up the entire region. So like 1 extra reroll for a region, extra regen's really, really good for your region. The chance to get legendary powers, I never do if I can avoid it. And then getting an extra card for your support champions, it can be nice. I normally don't grab that. I try to save it for the ones that hit the entire region. But for some champions like Volibear, it can be incredibly good because you're more likely to then hit a Titanic unit. So it's like, they're nice little upgrades, sure. I don't think it's necessarily worth trying to spend money to buy gemstones for them. But normally, like if you have a lot of Stardust and things like that, it can be fine. Moving on then, so we have both the Lux ones, and then one other one that I want to fit in here, which I had room before I added both of these relics. We'll see if we can squeeze it in. Honestly, this is one that could be gone to the other tier, but it would be the Nautilus one. So for Nautilus, it's obviously great for Nautilus. I also actually really like it for Elise. I think it actually worked out pretty well. Giving her and all of your units that deep, you actually hit deep fairly easily with Elise, surprisingly, and gave you a lot of damage. Like, it gives you an extra 2-2 or 3-3, and I think it's, yeah, pretty solid. Is there a relic so mid you just leave it in the waiting room? So for this one, it makes it so your champion is a sea monster. They count as deep. They have the sea monster effect. For Elise, she gives that to the spiderlings. And then when you drop the champion, you toss equal to their cost. Here, I'll pull it up here on someone. Where's our Nautilus? So deep, and I'm a sea monster. When I'm summoned, if you aren't deep, toss equal to my cost. Normally with Elise, it's actually not that hard to hit that deep, especially in those earlier rounds. You try to cut as many cards as possible, which you already want to have a super narrow deck. And then with deep, I have 33 once your deck has 15 or fewer cards left. That's a really good amount of stats. Getting that on your Elise plus on all of your spiderlings is excellent. Also, you can try to pair this with the evolve relic so that when you hit those keywords, you also give your units 2-2. I thought it was really, really good. But again, it is a relic that's pretty much only good for Nautilus and only good for Elise as far as from my testing, which is why it's down in the B tier, because B tier is pretty much good on 2 champions and that's it. We're going to try to rate all of the relics that we can. All right, let's move on to the C tier then. So the C tier is for relics that are very good, but only for one champion, and they're pretty much garbage on like everyone else. So we have the Caitlyn one. Potentially it could be useful on other people in the future, maybe, but in general, pretty much just good for her. I don't think anyone's really going to disagree with that one. And then after that, we have the Volibear one. This one is pretty much just good for Talia. Like, it's fine on Volibear, but he has so many better options, in my opinion, that I would choose over this. That the only champion I'd really use this on is Talia. Yes, this is for the paid relics. Have had a lot of people requesting a tier list for them, so I figured I'd try to get that done this patch. So yeah, Volibear also I think is C tier. Will you upload this to YouTube? I might put this on the replays channel. I'll be trying to make a dedicated, like right now I'm trying to just think through this with chat, seeing if anyone wants to give me things to think about that I hadn't considered to switch the rankings around. So like an actual video when I'm fully thought through everything, that will definitely go up on the main YouTube. But this, just like talking about it, will potentially go up on the replays channel. Volley, I feel like, has potential for others, though. It does, but yeah, it's like a maybe. I don't necessarily think the potential is necessarily high enough that I want to put it any higher. But yeah, it does have the potential that if they add other elemental champions, it could be better. Yeah, the tier list is more focused on how it is right now. There's a little bit, if we think something's going to be versatile for a lot of people in the future, it might get boosted up a little bit, but generally, yeah, it's mostly how it is right now. After the volley one, we have the Akshan relic. This is one that fantastic for Akshan. I don't really think it's going to be worth using on pretty much anyone else. Now, we did just get this, so that could change, but at the moment, that's pretty much all I'm thinking with it. Then we have the Kale one, pretty much same boat. Great on Kale. Don't really know why you'd want to use this on pretty much anyone else. And then we also have Yasuo, which again, same boat. Great for Yasuo. No one else really cares. Kale can be good on Darius. I mean, you could potentially try to make it work. But I feel like with Darius, you'd rather have other builds. Couldn't Akshans be good on Talia? I feel like Talia could make it work, but I feel like, again, you have other relics that are going to be giving you more power immediately. For the Kale one, it's not 1/1 for every fight, I don't think. I think it's just 1 power. If I'm Kale, +1 starting mana, I have 1 power for each encounter you've won this adventure. So potentially for Darius, like he starts at 6 power. If you could win 4 fights with him, you could go for cease and desist to just be able to drop Darius, immediately get a free attack going. And I suppose you could pair this with something to give you some more stats. Don't think I want to go for Deadly Harpoon. Death's Foil is something. I mean, Hextech Battery is kind of funny, giving you 1 power. I guess Scissors is the other one that gives you power. Yeah, so you could maybe pair it with, like, Spectral Scissors. So you're starting out at 8. Yeah, I know he goes to 10 power from on level up, but especially in these tougher encounters where they have, like, 100 health or more, pretty hard to get him to level by the time you want to play him. But again, with this, Darius is going to be so expensive, it's going to take you a couple rounds to play him. But it could be an interesting build. Even though I don't think it'd be the best, I think it's probably worth testing. Yeah. The tier list actually will probably take a little while to come out. I was hoping I could record it today, but I actually do think there's going to be a decent amount for me to test. If it's just for the champs, it's not good. I thought it was a better stacked deck. Yeah, not really. It's just for the champion. But I think that I actually do wonder how that's going to be. I kind of want to test that out. Even I don't think it's going to be his like best build or anything, but I think it could be kind of funny. Yeah, I think for right now we will still leave that relic right there, because I think even if I can make it work on someone else, it's not necessarily good. And then, yeah, the Yasuo one, only good on him, doesn't really make it good on anyone else. Why'd they make the relic borderline strong? Like, just add a little bit more can be really good. I don't think they're actually thrilled by having a lot of relics that are good on, like, a bunch of champions. I think they like the relics being pretty niche. Yeah, I don't think they try to make it super broad. Hey, Jim. Yeah, we're doing a tier list for the paid relics. Pretty much it's like most versatile, best on top, and then going down it's least versatile, not as useful, also generally weaker. All right, I think we'll probably be good with the C tier. So I think the D tier, this is pretty much relics that it can work for the main. Actually, wait, no. Why have one more for the C tier? We have the Heimer one. Actually, Heimer and... yeah, we'll definitely have to reformat this. And Leona. And actually, Evelyn. So, for the C tier, the Heimer one, really good for him. Fantastic. But you don't really use it on anyone else. Like, sure, if you're going into the Swain adventure, maybe. I mean, it's like maybe we can possibly move it up to the B tier for that versatility. I feel like most people don't want to use it. But yeah, it is more useful than a lot of the other ones down here. Because it is pretty niche, but there are some situations where it is actually pretty good. For Leona, pretty much just want to use it on her. I don't think you really want to use it on anyone else. And then for Evelyn, again, great for her, but not really worth keeping on like anyone else. I actually use it on Mord because I don't have Disciple or Starforged Gauntlets. I mean, I suppose there could be an argument to maybe put it in A tier just because it is like has a versatile effect. Because it is like most people have a better build, but yeah, it is good for people that kind of just need like a flex relic. But all right, so yeah, we have the Evelyn one, and then are there anyone else? So I think for most of these, they'd probably put in the D tier, where they can be fine on the main champion, but normally even in a main champion's like best build, you still don't really want to use it. So like Mbess is a pretty good example of this. It's like you can put it on her, you can make it work relatively fine, but in any of Mbessa's best builds, generally you're using something else. I think that's the same with the Ahri one. Again, it's fine, but Ahri just has so many better options in my opinion. I think it's even the same with like the Pyke one. Pyke, you can make it work. It can be solid for you. Generally, though, he has better ones. I think if the Pyke one could potentially be up in the C tier, but generally C is like, this is the best in slot for the champion. You want it as part of their best build. D tier, it's like, you can completely go without this relic, and you are perfectly fine. I pretty much think the Tridimir one is the same way. I thought it sounds crazy, doubling the scaling of your effects for your deck, but still not really great. Elder Dragon one, it's fine, but Elder Dragon has so many really, really good epic relics. Like you have Starforged Gauntlets, Disciple of Shadows, Beast Within, even like Portal Pals, the Vi Relic. There's so many ones I'd rather choose over his. I would argue that Drake Hound is E. And then last up right now, I probably need to test this one a little bit more, but I'm kind of feeling the same way with Whisper, where you can make use of it. It can make your Lotus Traps hit like a truck, which can be fun. It can affect your attack skill, make that do some good damage, but it is pretty niche, and I think for Jhin, there's just a lot of other relics I would rather use over it. Again, we'll see if maybe that will change, but yeah, I'm not super sold on it at the moment. Whisper is a really good, really broad relic. The thing is that no one has a skill with a stun playstyle right now. That's true. It has the potential that maybe in the future it could be good, because it is relatively broad in that it's just, well, it's broad and niche at the same time, because like stun effects are pretty broad, but you have to have stun effects with damage scaling from only skills. So that does actually make it pretty niche, because there's a lot of people that have stuns, but a lot of the people that have them don't also have any damaging skills. Like on Yasuo, he has a lot of stuns. He does not have any damaging skills, at least none that I can think of offhand. Like his strike effect or his hit before he strikes, that's not a skill, that's just a card effect. With Annie, she has like one stun every round. You can get one for Tibbers, but that's like a one-off for the entire game. And then you can get like one more from your spider, your spell slinger is the guy's name. But it's like, if you're using the spell slinger for stun, then you're not using him for the skill. And so his skill effect then kind of doesn't really apply as far as damage. And then you have like Annie's skill, Tipper's skill, and your other one drop. But I feel like normally for Annie, you're relying pretty heavily on your spells and trying to, like, I don't know, I feel like I'd rather use like a Ludens or a Big Guns to affect both my spells and skills and just have a permanent 1 damage all the time than try to go through the extra hoops for Whisper for like Annie. I think Swain is another one that's like, he can stun the entire enemy board, and you do have a couple units that have good skills, but a lot of your damage, like for Swain, when he attacks and deals that damage with his Nexus Strike, that's just a card effect, that's not a skill. And then a lot of his damage, I feel like, comes from spells. I don't know, it's one that it's like, I feel like I can try to make this work on a couple different champions, but I feel like anyone that I would make it work on, there'd just be a better relic that either gives me a greater effect for way less work, or just might be a slightly worse effect, but it's always active. I don't have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to make it work. Yeah, Whisper, so far haven't really been impressed with it. Like, it is fun when your Lotus Trap goes off for like 5 to 6 damage. You're like, damn. But other than that, it's kind of whatever. The red square is the Vi relic. We have it cut out somewhere. I think we just misplaced it in the waiting room. This card is good, but it doesn't have a deck? When a worse card can be good just because it has a deck. Not sure 100% what you mean, but I mean, yeah, there can be worse like relics that have a lower ceiling where, like for big guns, it's just always giving you 1 flat damage. Now, Ludens can give you a lot higher damage, theoretically, if you can trigger this. But again, the fact that it's just for skills, I think if this was for spells and skills, I think it would be way better. So all these tiers aren't directly related to power. And so it's more how many champions can utilize it well. The reason Nora Relic is in A tier is because it's pretty much best in slot for Fiddlesticks. It can be one of the best for Nora, can be incredibly good for Poro King, and then since it's giving you an extra keyword, it does have some added flexibility that decent chance it's going to be useful on more people in the future as well. But pretty much B tier is best on 2 champions, A tier is good / best on like roughly 3, or it just gives you a really strong effect you can potentially use on a lot of different champions, but there might be an alternative, like for the Warwick Relic, good on several people, really good alternative if you don't have Beast Within, so it has huge flexibility there. And then A tier is just like best on a whole bunch of people. That's how I see Whisper. It's better than a lot of the C, but since it doesn't have a champion that can really utilize it, yeah, like it potentially can be really good at some point. But I don't think, like, maybe there's a better way to play around it that we haven't really discovered yet. But so far, when I've been playing with it, it's been fine. But normally there'd be something better I could put on. Yeah, this isn't a tier list of directly ranking like their power, because a lot of the ones in the C tier can be incredibly powerful for their like singular champion. But it's just not the best on many other people. Also, looks like ad break is dropping, so we'll let that roll through. Potentially, I'll need to adjust how I'm categorizing these and see if there's a better way to kind of list them. Because I almost feel like I want one tier that's almost like a utility tier, where it's just, this is a niche relic, but in a lot of situations it could be really good. Kind of like the Heimer one. I think more like A, B, C, D, named tiers. Instead of A, B, C, D. Like this for 3 champions or more, utility relics. Possibly. Yeah, we might name the tiers. Because like while we do have it where they are pretty much trying to be a stand-in for a different effect, most people are just going to look at the tiers and then be kind of confused. So yeah, we might potentially want to name them. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, a like, subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to see me streaming anything live, there's a link to that down below. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.